What's up, everybody? It's your favorite long, hard roads favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Fanstoys Superion. I've already reviewed all the figures individually, so let me tell you what to expect here. We're going to go through the transformation of all of them into their combined modes. We're going to connect the combined modes to the parts forming pieces, and we're going to go through the combiner. I want to first thank Nick the Toy Guy, who I bought this from, and you can too. His website is in the description. You can use the discount code BSF10 and free ship and save yourself a little bit of cash. He's a good guy to do business with. I apologize for the delay on this. It's just one of those things where it couldn't have shown up at a worse time. I had a lot going on. I barely got the Jester review out on time. I do plan on doing a versus with the Superion from Zeta as well, and I will be doing a sit down Saturday on a retrospective of the whole Fanstoys Superion extravaganza. That will be on Patreon. Link to that is also in the description. But before we get to any of that, we have to first start with accessories. So he comes with a head. The head has two different display options. You have Studio Ox here in the front, and you have the toy / cartoon version here in the back. It has the Onyx metallic black paint and the metallic red. This has the kind of like pearlescent white with the metallic blue. They're both done very well. He comes with 3 extra faces for the Studio Ox version. Snarling face, speaking face, and yelling face. That's in addition to the stoic face that you just saw. He also comes with an extra set of ears. These are painted gold instead of using the chrome. It's all dependent upon your preferences and which kind of look you're trying to match. He comes with a gun. It doesn't come this way in box. Just lift this piece up and insert this piece on, and then collapse it again. There are a number of moving pieces that are for the flight stand mode that we will not be covering here because I don't care, and I don't think most of you do either. So we will just be covering the combined mode here. But it is completely covered in that Onyx metallic black color that looks great. And he'll hold it just fine with his tab going into the palm of the hand. The only thing is if you don't have it sitting straight up, if you tilt it to the side, the weight will shift the joint. The weight of the gun will shift the wrist joint, and they'll kind of be aiming off to the side. But generally speaking, that shouldn't be an issue. But if it were to be, then you're going to run into it. The gun can also be utilized in the more toy fashion. You just take it, pop out that little wing piece that we were talking about, fold up your handle, take this piece and flip it out, open up Fireflight here, flip up the hip skirt, close it back, and then there should be room to slide in your gun there, and now he has his more G1 cartoon look with the gun as well. You also get the large parts forming piece, and you know, we'll go over this a bit more in detail when we really connect it all, but you get this. There's the chrome ears. You also get the 2 feet that we've already seen connected. That sounded more Muppety than monstrous, right? Feet. That we've already seen connected in the opening footage, but I will show you how they connect, as well as the hands that came with Jester, and once again, I'll show you how they connect. Now, we can do a little bit of prep work here to get this guy ready. We got to flip this head up and around. We have to open these up, rotate these out to the side. And then there's 2 tabs here on the front. Lift those up, or on the top rather. Come to the front. Pull this piece away, pull that piece away, pull that piece away, pull these side pieces away, and then flip that to the front, because you're going to need that open for Maverick. Gimmicks wise, in order to go from this look, which is the Studio Ox look, to the more cartoon look, you have to add in this piece here. Now, I like this, personally, on the Studio Ox look. You know, I like the kind of best of both worlds there. Like, that to me is a good look. But technically speaking, this is the G1 look, but I'm going to keep it on for my Studio Ox look when I'm doing it. And then you want to open up these pieces here and take out your wings. We're doing the opposite of Red Bull here. Close those back up. Sorry if you can't see that. I might have to do it off camera anyway. Take your head out here. Swap it. But, and I probably should have had that out too. Great Googa Mooga. Anyway, it depends on how you want this. But let's sit it more flush. This has a light up feature as well. Obviously, I don't have the batteries. We'll swap out the ears while we're here. They just slide up. All right. And then I think you would want the silver out. And then we'll put that toy head in. You got yourself, I'm sorry, the toy / cartoon head. You got yourself the more cartoon accurate Superion. All right, so let's start with this fella. Get these out of the way. You want to untab them. Get them out. And then you want to untab this back part. And you want to untab these wings. And you got to get the tail feather out and around by pulling against, which is really my biggest complaint engineering wise with this guy. All right, then you want to rock this whole section down. And then all of this will tab back in. And then these sections will tab back in, and then I think these are meant to go up, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, you know, that might look better. I don't know, up to you. All right, this one too. And then your wings here have to look the way that I said that they're meant to look in robot mode, kind of, with that square piece facing forward, or the way I said I prefer it in robot mode, with this square piece facing forward. All right, open up the chest here, and then we have to open up this canopy, can of peas, open that up, rock that back, flip the head forward. Close up your undercarriage bit there. This rocks forward. This moves back. This tabs in. These pieces separate. And then this piece comes down, locks in there. This whole piece sits in forward. And then this piece comes up, tabs in. This piece comes up, tabs in. Then you can close your canopy. You can have these wings, I guess, any which way you'd like. We'll do it like that. Then you take your hand. It has a T groove there. And just slide her in. And that is one arm done. With a less than, well, just about 90 degree, I'd say we give it to him, 90 degree Elbow, I'm getting some of this articulation out of the way now to make it easier for me. I will do the shoulder articulation, obviously, when it's combined. But it has a 90-degree elbow. It has a bicep swivel. It has a wrist swivel, ratcheted. The fingers are individually articulated. They swivel at the base, a la Zeta. And then they have a base knuckle, secondary, and tertiary knuckle for a fully... Oh, and the... So, yeah, for a fully articulated fingers. And then the thumb has a hinge at the primary knuckle and the secondary knuckle. And then the actual thumb hinges forward and back as well. And then the wrist moves in and out as well. So, honestly, it's the most articulated thing I think about this whole set from top to bottom is the combiner hands are they're better articulated than every figure that they've made in this set. All right, we'll go ahead and do the other arm, and this way you get it from jet or robot mode, so that's nice. We'll rotate this up and in, rotate that back down, open up this back. It's the same, right? It's exactly the same. Fold it in, and then collapse. Same on this side. We're gonna open up here. We'll just do it in reverse. Close it, open up that, rock that up, close it, collapse, and then we want to unlock the torso. Nothing new under the sun here either, correct? And open this up, which will allow you to double hinge this up and out. And these, I think, come up, these pieces here. You don't need to fool with them quite yet. Once this is up, you want to do the same thing with the arms. Slide up, rotate in, slide out, rotate in, slide back, right? So slide up, rotate in, slide out, rotate in, slide back. And then you can bring this piece back down, lock it in, bring these pieces around, lock it in, and then flip the head down. Then the lower part of the body, undo this, and undo these, right? And then untab this, rock Combiner Wars that down, fold this panel down, and then you can bring that back up, and you're just going to repeat that one more time. So got this untabbed, untab this, Combiner Wars. You can flip this panel down as you do it. Bring this back up. Bring this down. That tabs in there to the bottom. These wings, you just want to extend these flaps here, I believe. And you can leave them collapsed too if you want something a little bit more streamlined. And then these pieces rock up. So the hand has, I guess it's like these two clasps here that'll clip in underneath these two kind of vents, and then you just fold the hand around and tuck these down. Once again, articulation is going to be relatively the same. I'm going to double check on these pieces, make sure I got them right. But bicep swivel, elbow. This one gets you a little less due to these little pieces. But maybe if you had that up, yeah, then you can kind of get it a bit more. And then your wrist articulation is pretty much the same. And so are the fingers. All right, leg day. So remember that these are very similar, but there is one little difference. So open this up. You got to double hinge this up, but in order to really get it to close, it's got to be right back against the chest again. It's not like the others where you can kind of do it willy-nilly. All right, open this one up, fold the hand in, close that up, collapse. Same on this side. Open up, rotate up. Now, once it's here, you can't get it to close. So you have to rotate it back down along the body, and then it will close. Open this up, fold the hand in, close this, collapse that. All right, and then same as the other side, right? So we gotta untab these, same as the other bots, I mean. Get this up and out of the way. Then this is identical. It slides forward, it rotates in, it slides out, it rotates in, and then it slides back. Right? All right. Slide forward, rotate in, slide out, rotate in, slide back. And then you can bring this back down and tab it in. Now, I don't think I had my air raid transform properly, but you need to separate the two sections of the backpack. There's one. Why can't I? There. Whew. Okay. And then all of this stuff actually, I think, needs to rotate around anyway. So I'll take a look at this here in a second. I'm just going to get it out of the way for now because I just want to get the legs sorted, and then we'll come back and work on this backpack. But the reason why we need to do that is just to get these two panels here up, which is a bit of a bummer for the process anyway. All right, these you can just get out of the way. Here we got to go heel, toe 1, toe 2. Heel, like the part of the loaf I don't eat, toe 1, toe 2. All right, then these flaps open up, and there's something else here in there. Yes, this rotates down. While you do it, you have this piece. This needs to shift down, but this comes to the other side, or it just goes back up. But then that encapsulates. Encapsulates? I said that right, correct? There we go. Why isn't that? There, okay. And this comes up. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So open this, open this. You can open this. Rotates in and down. All right, come on, girl. There. Make sure we clear that little section on the back. There we go. And this goes to the opposite side. Comes up. That tabs in. Tab these together. All right, then we have these pieces, and they need to shift down and tab in to create like a flat backpack. Down, tab in. You also need to spin the nose cone around. Mine is really tight. There is a screw that you can loosen, but just use caution. So then you have these. Now these need to come up and over on both sides. I'm sure they're going to come off. And make sure all this is flat underneath. These wings, the rear ones, tab back into the rear of the plane. There's 2 tabs and 2 notches. In order to collapse this bar, you want to form a triangle that faces outward. You see I got that triangle there that faces outward. And it just rests there. It seems a little unfinished to me in comparison to the other stuff that we've moved into combine mode so far. All right, build the wings. They're just a series of hinges and so forth. And they come up and rest in a little channel here on the side. And then this wing comes around and tabs onto there using that little notch there. And it's black on black. I'm having a little hard time with it, but we'll see what I can do off camera or with the other side. So same on this side. And try to get it in that little channel. It's a little tricky. Yeah, so that happens all the time. Don't worry about that. C-clip. Get it on there, and then this piece comes up and grabs onto that tab. Oh God, I'll do that and we'll come back and take a look at it. All right, then we got to sit him in here, right? You want to connect these side pieces. Well, let's undo that. Let me see what I can do. It actually wasn't too hard without the camera in front of me, but I got it. So then we want to open up these pieces here, and then these come forward. Let me do it on camera, dude. And I got it. This has definitely been my least favorite so far and feels the least secure. A lot of this stuff back here doesn't feel as nice as the arms. All right, let's see if this guy's any easier. Same exact first couple steps. Open, close, open, rock up. Make sure this is sitting flush down by the side. Collapse. Undo the side tab there. So same here, open up. Fold in, close up. Open up. Rock up and down. Collapse. Open up the obliques there. All right. Untab. Open the head, so to speak. Get this up and out of the way. Same thing. Slide forward. Rotate in. Slide out. Rotate in. Slide back. Slide forward. Rotate in. Slide out. Rotate in. Slide back. Close this. Reconnect those tabs. Put the head back down. Fold in your heels. Fold in your toes. Open this. Rotate in. You can give yourself a little clearance here. And close, close, close. Same on this side. Oh, my toe. Oh, this loosey-goosey. Hate to see it. Open up. Fold in. Close up, close, close, close. Tab in, and you can get these out of the way. You really need to separate the bottom and top pieces of the backpack. You can untab these pieces. This will come up and you can rotate that 180. And then you have all this stuff down here. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, okay, so this comes up. This bar here is on a slider. And then this will come back down and slide between these legs here. But I feel like all right. Mine slides in, but I opened it a bit and I feel I got it the rest of the way. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about all that, but that's what I got working for me. We need to get these wings out and around to the other side. And I don't know if they're supposed to be straight or not. I don't think it makes much difference, but they're on these little armatures here. So if you just swing them out and then rotate them up or back, and then back. And then there's these little black tabs on the side of this armature. They need to rotate up and plug into the side. And then bring in your, once again, do your best. There. Great, googa mugga. Sorry about that. And then there. At least the front one wasn't so bad. All right. All right, last one. So you need to open up the forearm, open up this panel, rotate the fist. Can this get through? Yes. And then, oh, still did it wrong though. Bring it all the way back towards the front of the forearm, and then move it around, right? And then tuck it in. Then you can close this back up, close this up, and you need to have, where is the tab? Here, facing towards the inside. All right, so same on this side. We're going to open up the forearm here. We're going to open up this. We're going to take our fist and spin it this way. Hopefully I did it right this time. Yep. And then double hinge it back, and then close that up, close that panel at the bottom, rotated the bicep. Untab the nose cone from the backpack. Shift the shoulders up. Or just open this up. Open these up here on both sides. Open these up. Open these up. Open all of this just to get the head tucked in, and then you can close that back up. And we just have to I apologize, I just got off work and cut my thumb there, ripped a piece of skin that was off of it that was sitting there. My bad. So anyway, I had to do this video over a couple of days. I just haven't had the time. All right, and then tab this in there. Bring these up. Bring these down. They'll tab in. And then you just bring these back. These don't peg in or anything. They just sit flush against it. On the front here, slide this panel up. Slide the toe up. Heel tabs in once, or folds in once, then folds in twice. So panel up, toe up, heel in once, heel in twice. And then these just rotate back and come here. And then your arms rotate down and tab in to solidify it. There we go. And then same on this side, up and up. Fold this down. Tab it in, and then this piece just comes back down and sits. The bar just sits between these. They don't like clip in or anything, but that's it. Here we go. Get these pieces out of the way. Open this piece up. Open that piece up. Open this piece up. And then bend the knee. Like Daenerys. Then we're gonna bring this guy over here. Get these, make sure these are out of the way. And there's rails here that will slide on the shoulders. And then this piece will come down, tab in. That piece will come down. On the back here, you got to get room for this piece to come in. And then these pieces swing in and connect to that back piece. And then these sit back in the rails. Remember, this one's a little obnoxious overall. And then this will come up and tab into the back of the kneecap. Bend the knee again. I do have something extra to show you that I forgot to show you. We got to open this up. Open this up. This piece has to sit behind the head. And then same thing. Got to catch these rails. Let me get this piece out of the way. There. There. When you do this, make sure you bring this kneecap down before you close up. Do it on the other guy too that we just did. It'll help you get a straighter leg. And then this piece comes down, tabs in. And then this piece comes down and tabs in. And now you should be able to straighten the leg. So far so good. Alright. Then we got this bit of business going on back here. We're going to open this up. We're going to bring this piece in. We're going to bring these two pieces in, and then these two pieces swing down and tab into the side. These two pieces separate and come down. It's a little anti-intuitive there, in my opinion, and then this comes up, and then these two pieces, they were connected underneath. You split them, and they sit in these little grooves there by just sort of really forcing it. And then, you know, clean your wings up and all that jazz, and then you're back. All right. You got a notch in here that lines up with his pelvis, the front of his pelvis. And just do what you got to do to kind of, you know, set yourself up for success here. And those pieces come back down, or up rather. This piece comes down. Tabs into the side here. All right. These pieces come back down and lock that in. These pieces flip up and then tab into the side. And then same on this side. All right. I'm not sure if that does. Oh, that just folds back up. And then the front, we're gonna just close up 1, close up 2, close up 3. We can put the head on too. All right, wings is this guy's face. We're gonna come around here. We're gonna open up our chest on Fireflight, and it sort of slides down. There's rails on the chest. I just can't see there. And then the two parts of Fireflight tab into the side of the shoulder. Slingshot's the same, except you got to flip this little piece up. Once again. Oh God, thank God, that's just tension. Use a spudger, I recommend. Once again, we're finding the rails. Sliding it down. What's the deal here? Let me clean them up. We'll take a look at them. So let's go ahead and look at the figure, and we're going to first start by looking at proportions. We're not going to get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis right now. So I think the bottom half is actually quite nice. There was things that had bothered me in pictures about how small like the lower legs looked, and maybe I don't have them right, but there is more width on those calves than it initially seemed in the pictures. The length of the legs looks right. The ratio of thighs to knees to lower legs to look right. I'm in love with all that. I do think the torso is a little tall. It ends up giving little kid vibes. Like we've talked about this before, specifically with a lot of the Hasbro designs, they end up looking like children just due to the proportions. This isn't bad. It's certainly not the worst I've seen in that regard, but there is a hint of it there. Other than that, I think the arms look great. The chest looks great. I think the upper body looks great independent of itself, and it's sturdy as all outdoors. Now, let's get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis. So let's have a look. We have basically a hinged swivel. So you can get up, you can get down, you can get a swivel, no confused Superion face, right? That's the cost of doing business. We've already talked about the decal here. The chrome ears look great. You can do the gold as well if you'd like. We'll take a look at that when we get to the Toon model for final thoughts. Otherwise, I think everything looks good. Now, we've already shown the articulation of the arms, so the only thing that we have left to do is the shoulders. So, out to the side, you get all the way up. but the one arm starts to slide out. But you can at least get past 90. I think that that's fine. This shouldn't slide out because that should stay tabbed in a bit better, I guess. And then out to the side, it rotates at the chest. So it's always going to look a little wild. You know what I mean? Because his arm isn't going out here. It's going out like on top of his shoulder. So that's always going to look bad. That sucks. That's a bummer. Works great. Aesthetically, not good. That's not the way that the human body works. And I know they're not human, but they do mimic the human anatomy, don't they? Okay. Let's talk about torso stuff. Ratcheted torso feels great. Crunch. No problem. And he's holding it. Try to give you pretty impressive. I'll even show it from the back there so you can see what's going on. I think that that works. There may be some sacrifices for that, but I think it's worth its weight in gold. I'm good with that. All right, let me reset the camera and we'll do legs. Leg day. Hip skirts. Get up and out of the way. And this one I think is even... Yeah, you can separate this whole thing. That might be too much. That might be too much. But, I don't know. We'll go with it for now. Ratcheted universals get you out for the full Van Damme. Forward, full Monty. Backward. Let's see. Backward, you may be a little limited. Whew. That's a little spoiler for what's coming soon. Thigh swivel. No problem there. Knee. Single hinge. Get you a little bit past 90 degrees. No problems there. Ankles. So you can disconnect all this and get an ankle tilt. Let me get an ankle tilt up and down, but I don't think it's going to hold it very well. It's more for the airplane stuff. It's not ratchet or anything, so I don't think it's going to hold it all that well. But the range is technically there. And, well, then that starts to come apart. So, the rocker is also a little limited. Let me show that. A little limited on the rocker. Not hate, well, it might be hateful. I will see what I can do in terms of posing it for final thoughts before I give my final thoughts, I guess. And then we'll take a look at the back. It's very clean from the back. All right, let me back the camera out. You know, there's a view from the back, and it's not cleaned up because I've been manipulating it a fair bit, but I think you get the point, and I think it's very effective. It's very stable. I'll have more of my final thoughts in terms of exactly how I feel, but overall, it's a good product. That much I know for sure. So there they are together, and there they are with a Masterpiece Scourge. I'll tell you, I have mixed feelings, man. I'll say this, the Fanstoys is more stable, surprisingly so. Much more stable. I like the proportions better on the Zeta. The shorter torso gives it less of like a little kid vibe, but they're both trying to do the same thing so hard that I don't think there's any like knockout here. I'll be curious to see how the verses turn out, but I was shocked that the Fanstoys was as stable as it is. And like I said, that versus is coming soon. There's things I can appreciate about each. I can tell you I won't be swapping my Superions. Like, I'm good with my Zeta Superion, and I'll be using my Fanstoys for bots as I had intended and predicted, and I'm more than happy with that. But I am looking forward to doing the verses. I think there's a lot to talk about here. Things that each kind of did right. And also the variants, right? You got two companies pretty good at what they do, trying to do the exact same thing, right? This isn't like Make Toys Giant versus TFC Hercules, where they're vastly different designs. These guys are aiming at the same target. So it'll be curious. All right, let's move on to final thoughts. I'm giving myself 5 points here. I'm giving myself 5 points for not breaking because I had to transform 5 robots, and I think that's fair. I've reset my clock when I've broken things that haven't really been my fault that they broke, but I've just been having fun with it, so I reset the clock. I think it's also fair to give me the 5 for getting through it. Final thoughts wise, let's start with the negatives. I wish that Air Raid transformed into his combine mode a bit better overall. I wish everything stayed stuck in and sat a little bit more purposefully than what we ultimately got. That's the only complaint I have in terms of the individual modes getting to combine mode. As far as the combiner goes, a nitpick would be the proportions. The torso's a little big for my taste. Don't like to utilize the hip skirts to get any sort of decent articulation. You have to kind of unplug them completely and then sort of cover them down the best you can. They could have done more with the ankles, and the reason why they didn't, in my opinion, is for the airplane hanger things, and that is a silly sacrifice to make. But the ankles are one of the issues that plague the articulation. The next issue are the hips. The weight has a tendency to push the hips out. I think I've got the hips almost to their max range, and I wanted him to really dig in. Couldn't get it. He kept slipping and falling apart. Not falling apart in terms of the combined pieces, just falling apart in terms of holding the integrity of the pose. The weight of the gun can affect the movement of the wrist, and when you get the arms out past 45 degrees, it starts to look wonky because they sit on top of the shoulder as opposed to outside of the shoulder. That's a sacrifice that they made in terms of stability, and I think ultimately between the two it's the right choice. However, it's also a criticism. And lastly, while he is very stable, he is also a little bit back heavy, just a smidge. He's going to be more than fine. He's going to hold up in an A pose perfectly. When you start to go beyond A pose, you start to do other things and you don't lean him forward, you'll see that the center of gravity tends to lean back. That being said, I think he's probably the most stable combiner I've ever handled. But that back weight is always an issue, and this one's no exception, although it handles it the best I've seen. Before we can move on to the positives, I do have one more negative. So due to the shoulder articulation, the shoulder can't move outward. Do you see what I'm saying? So like I want his arm to look in line with his sight, but because there's no shoulder articulation in the actual shoulder, it's all in the chest, there's no room to swing his arm out, which is a bit of a bummer. I'm also going to show you one thing at the end here so you know I'm not whistling Dixie. But let's talk about the positives. Like I said, probably one of the most stable combiners that I've ever dealt with. There is a lot of articulation here. 90-degree knees plus. 90-degree elbows, tons of hand and wrist articulation. The shoulders go up and around fully. The hips have range engineered in. It can't all be utilized, but the engineering is there. And kind of the same goes for the ankles. It's clean as a whistle, including the backpack. Very, very clean. I love that you can flip it back between the Studio Ox and the Toon look, or combine the two like I've been doing. The materials feel great. It's very sturdy, standing in an A stance. It's painted beautifully. Typical Fanstoys, all that paint just comes through. It can't help but to. But let's look at the range real quick before we get out of here. This is a recommend from me. You will be happy with this set. There's no doubt about it. But I want to take you through something before I get out of here. And I want to show you what I'm talking about with the hips. So the hips, as we know, you can get the full Van Damme, right? This is where they are right now. Let's see how far we can push it. Not very far at all. That being said, still a recommend from me. It's still good. It's very solid overall, but it does have its limitations. I'm not sure if they're being pointed out, so I've taken it upon myself to show you. That being said, I'm not unhappy with my purchase, but I'm also using them for bot mode. But even if I was using them for combine mode, I wouldn't be unhappy with my purchase. It's just limited. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.